Hey everybody, that's Brian. Did I was going to be conscious.
Oh, I don't
I'm
have my
Bill.
mug today. Dunkin' Donuts. Sorry.
Is that Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not a sponsor. Welcome to Talkin Overtime, the show where two grown men talk for about 30 minutes about mostly mask, 95% mask, and sometimes other things squeezed in there because we're all human. First, before we dig into anything else, did you have a quiet Christmas? Was it okay?
Yeah, super quiet. Best Christmas ever.
Good.
My
Ours was
family all
good.
split up.
We tried to do a Zoom thing with my parents. They struggled with it a little bit.
Oh yeah, we did that on Thanksgiving, and it just was like, I'm like, can I hang up now? I want to go back to my actual Christmas at my house.
Yeah. But it was nice. We did that, opened up, gifts and just kind of hung out. But as I was just saying, my neighbors next door, they had a large gathering. I'm sure it was maskless, by the way.
Party animal.
Emptying out their trash at, all hours of the night. And yeah, I hate them. So
I think everybody's got one on their block.
But anyway, we it's just a shame. Our previous neighbors, these people just moved in. Our previous neighbors were the best.
That's the worst.
So, oh well. But yeah, all in all, it was a good time. I'm still not working. Took a couple days off because I felt like it.
Well, I don't teach over the holiday break, so again, that's why teaching is the best job ever.
Yeah, and no summer break.
Oh,
so I'm going to share the screen here. We'll get the wheel of illusion going here, and I'll scroll down real quick so we can see the topics. I'll leave it up for a second. Some of these on there, you're going to go like, what is this?
All right.
All right, now everybody's got that there.
You all read it? Because I didn't read it out loud. So.
No, that's all right.
I hope we don't have any people watching who can't read.
Wait.
That's all right. When we get there, we'll read it out loud. We'll say the topic out loud. I'm saying least favorite toy. I love gambling on this wheel.
I'm hoping the Mcrib lands.
Hey. Top five 80s cartoon characters.
Now, naturally, this has a wide spectrum, pun intended, to go with here. And I'll let you start here because, it's good guys, bad guys. You can go the whole gamut. You can even, I know you're a big wrestling fan. If you have wrestling,
yeah, but the wrestling cartoon was loosely based on real people. I don't think, the Junkyard Dog was really trying to stop Roddy Piper from robbing a bank. That never really happened in real life or whatever. But
I don't know that.
The thing is, and I know this is it's a mass channel, you should be biased. I think if anything's going to be, cracking this list from the top 5 cartoon characters of the 80s at a mask, it would be like T-Bob. Because I think people remember him more than they remember the average mask agent, which I had a friend who's 44 years old, came over yesterday, came downstairs, was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh yeah, Mask. And he's like, yeah, what is that? He had no memory of Mask. He knows He-Man, he knows Transformers. He knew every other toy. He knew Brave Star. He knew every other toy in this basement. He didn't know Mask. I was like, what? You don't remember Mask? So I don't think it translates as well as it did for us as it does for a lot. Obviously, where is it? So when I think top 5, I think Skeletor is the number 1 most memorable character from the 80s. I think Skeletor, everybody remembers that, that performance, the over the top, laughing, corny, and plus the visual of the blue and the yellow. I think you remember Skeletor.
Yeah.
That's
your top 1.
I think that's number 1. I mean, look, could I rattle off 5? I think Optimus Prime. Yeah, you have Skeletor, Optimus Prime. I'm looking around my room right now. G.I. Joe. See, cartoon characters, Snake Eyes is the G.I. Joe, but on the cartoon, it's really Duke or Cobra Commander or Destro. It's not Snake Eyes. Is a background player on that show.
All right, well, let's do it that way. Let's go with let's go like top one. So yours is Skeletor,
I'd
and
say Skeletor.
you're right. You're right about Mask. So like, if as much as I do rag on T-Bomb, I do. If I held up a Matt-Trakker figure and a T-Bob figure, I think that out of a poll of 50, like say this is Family Feud,
Yeah.
uh,
Survey says.
Survey says, I think there'd be more for T-Bob than there would be for Matt-Trakker.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Matt is going to be up there for me, but it's really hard to kind of like break this down in a way for top five. If I had to go one, I
mean,
might
this is
be
just
right
like
up there.
overall.
No, I know, but like I might be
Because it's different from my like Rushmore,
Yeah, this is off the top of our head, and I might be there with you with Skeletor. But also there's no definition here on like character. Is Voltron a character? I love Voltron.
Like the Smurfette count, because Smurfette probably, I think the world knows who Smurfette is. She was the girl Smurf, Like, do they count? Were they an 80s cartoon? I suppose. I mean, you could take He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and right there have the top five. I would put like, My Little Pony. That one of those has got to be like not for me.
Bloody.
Yeah, not for me, but they were huge. Like they were everywhere. I'm like, if we had a real top five list.
One of my favorite cartoons was Ducktales.
I know, and again, I don't remember the Disney Afternoon like to include them in the 80s, but yeah, they hit like Scrooge McDuck, even though he was created in like the 50s or whatever. That show.
Up there too,
how do you not include like Lion-O or Mumra? Like the Thundercats, they weren't, the biggest thing, but those characters were huge.
If I'm going to say, I would go He-Man. I'm going to go top, number one. I think that's like, for me, that's what I would say. And this is not me like saying this is my favorite. This is me saying this is where I'm thinking like along those lines. And then two, it'd probably be like Optimus Prime.
I mean, Optimus Prime is probably number one. Like on a real objective list, he's probably the most memorable cartoon character from the 80s.
Ninja Turtles too. They came out what?
Ninja Turtles. Oh my god! See, yeah. I mean, Mask is such an afterthought on this thing because you can't crack that. I mean, the Ninja Turtles are definitely making that list.
No, yeah. I mean, you're talking about just top five characters. You're not talking about the top five shows, top five whatever.
No.
It's like you can go. Like everybody, I think everybody loved Michelangelo. He wasn't my favorite, but
yeah,
he was, he was the party dude. I mean, what else do you want from him?
Those like collages where they put all the 80s characters together, like the villains, the good guys. Yeah. Like Mask is rarely on those things, but you always see Mumra, you always see Cobra Commander, you see the dude from Dungeons and Dragons with like the horn on his head. I don't even know his name, but you see him. But you never see like Miles Mayhem, rarely. Matt-Trakker almost never.
And when was the Super Friends cartoon? Was that was 80s?
Yeah, I think it started 70s, and then there was something else into the 80s. They kept going like Challenge of the Super Friends or something. I know because when Superpowers were out,
Aquaman can go right up there.
Oh yeah, please. I like to consider the 80s characters like the ones that were like at least kind of created around that time. Like because Superman we just got done talking about him before we started recording. Superman's like my favorite, hero of all time. But he was created like, 70 years before that or whatever.
Yeah. And there was a cartoon. I don't know if it was late 80s or early 90s with Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky.
Oh yeah, Wayne Gretzky was like the something All-Stars or whatever. The All Pros, I forget. Yeah,
it doesn't get any better than Bo Jackson, right?
No, Bo Jackson, he's huge. Then he blew out his hip, and they had to cancel the cartoon.
So this might have to be something that we think about and maybe reconvene on because
I mean, obviously, if I was just going to have to rattle them off, Skeletor, He-Man, Optimus Prime, Mumra, Cobra Commander. I mean, you can't really. It's subjective. I just think Optimus Prime and He-Man are probably.
You got Shredder, there's all these
Yeah.
characters. Brave
There's so
Star.
many, like the thing about Brave Star and beating those guys out.
Well,
Like He-Man and Optimus Prime and a G.I. Joe character have to be on it.
yeah.
And they're the only series that really have like continued on through today. Everything else kind of like died out. You know, like I like the Bionic 6 better than almost everything we just mentioned, but I'm not going to put like Mother 1 on the list and her horrible code name of Mother 1. Everybody else gets like a code name and they just called her Mother 1. It's not like the dad is Dad 1. You know, I don't think he is. I think he's Leader 1.
I think, yeah, we're gonna have to come back on that one.
Yeah.
So, but if you have a top 5 you can rattle off in the comments, it could be your opinion, top 5 cartoon characters, or what you think it is, like what everybody thinks. So let us know in the comments. All right, let's spin it here.
Hey, this is an easy one.
This won't be a long one.
No, this is on there because of me.
So you've had an obsession lately.
Yeah, I've become the connoisseur of the Mcrib, and I get either people who agree with me or people who call me a gross pig. Like there is no in between. You're either with me or you're against me.
For those of you who don't know what it is, if you don't, then I don't know where you've been. It's a sandwich that McDonald's introduced, the late 70s or something like that, and they bring it back off and on to tease the people that love it, like Brian and a lot of other people in the world. I think the only country they keep it going all the time is Germany.
There are, like when I was in Kansas City last year, they had the McRib, and I was dying to go get it, and my father-in-law was kind of in.
Wait, you were in Kansas City,
and they had it,
but Kansas City is like a mecca of barbecue.
I know, and they have the McRib all year long. I don't know why, because you would think.
Why would you get McRib when you could get actual?
I didn't get it. We went to a real barbecue place, but I still was like, oh my God, I haven't had a McRib in like 6 years. I want one. I'm like, you know what? On the way to the airport, we're going to stop. And my father-in-law pulled the trigger and got us to the airport 6 hours early, and McDonald's wasn't serving lunch yet. So I was like, come on. I left Kansas City and I didn't get the McRib. I'm like, it's never coming back. But
was that the Chiefs game?
That was the Chiefs game. And everything was perfect about Kansas City except that one little blip where I didn't get my McRib.
Not to go off on more of a barbecue tangent, is Kansas City, is that a wet rub?
God, I don't know. We got this giant, best barbecue I've ever had in my life, this giant tray of meat between me and 3 other people, and they just put everything out, every cut of meat you could have.
I don't remember if it's more of a wet.
No, it was definitely saucy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's saucy.
So let's get back to the McRib.
McRib.
It came about basically because of the cheap way to process meats. And
it is a cheaply processed meat. It is.
Yeah, the animals were not probably too thrilled about it, but
no.
And if I remember correctly, I think it came into place too because like the fillet of fish wasn't selling great or something.
Oh, really? I don't know.
It was something.
I tried one when I was like in like a kid, and I was like, "This is amazing," and then it became a thing.
Like full-blown documentaries on it, so I don't have my knowledge to that extent.
I'm not watching a McRib documentary. I do not want to know. Everybody keeps trying to ruin it for me, and I know it's crappy, and I know it's not good for you, and I know it's not this like, it's not filet mignon, but there's something about it like that I just love every time I have it. So,
well, your coworkers got you some for Christmas.
Yes, they did. I got 4 McRibs at once.
One of the comments was, "Who would do this?" And you wrote people who care or something like that.
She's a coworker, and she's like, "Who did this?" And I was like, "The coworkers who care about me."
So my wife and I never had one, and I was like, I really I wanted some fries. I just wanted some McDonald's fries. So we went over, and she's like, "Let's get a McRib and split it." I was like, "I don't really want to," but okay. I bit into it. I'm like, I can't tell the difference between the bread and the meat.
No, it's mushy. It's really mushy. It is mushy.
And the barbecue sauce is really good.
That's I think the thing.
But it needed more. It needed crunch. Like there are pickles and onions, but it needed like 6 times more of it.
No, I always say extra pickles, extra onions, and I think some of them get like really mad at you, and they just like basically bury your box in pickles and onions, and then you just have this monster sandwich. But yeah, it's so good. It's almost like, you know how White Castle is like a mushy sandwich, like that's what the McRib's like. It's kind of got like a mush to it that, you know, some people might find incredibly disgusting, but I love disgusting stuff.
And the patty's in the form of a rib with no meat.
Yeah, and it's not a rib. I don't know what it is. It's like shaved bone. It's horrible.
It can't be any worse than what's at Taco Bell.
No, it's all the same junk.
But if you are a fan of the McRib, not text, but send give Brian's address. Maybe I'll change your McRib or drawing. I don't know.
We'll draw for McRib.
All right, that's the McRib. I just wanted to put that on there as a little funny thing. I'm going to share the screen here again.
Love my McRib.
You're going to McDonald's after this?
No, I haven't. I'm supposed to start trying to cut some weight, but best 2020 memory. Out of everything in my life?
No, just out of this. Yeah, I mean, out of this year.
Out of just like pop culture, out of toys.
Just out of anything, really. I mean,
I don't think people on Talkin Overtime want to hear like, oh, that time when me and my daughter were like laying in bed and she told me she loved me, like, like actual good memories, like real stuff. They don't care about that garbage. That really is the stuff that I'm going to hold on to.
It's just his best. I didn't define it any other way, really.
Yeah, I mean, real life is different than the internet, so it's a lot more boring, Favorite 2020 memory as far as Mask goes is probably finishing 86.
Okay.
That was nice because it was hanging on my head. I knew the ending the entire time I was writing it, and like getting there felt like Lord of the Rings. Like it was just a process.
All you needed was the eagle.
Yeah, please. I wish I could have just flown that thing all the way. But once I finished it and put it out and I was happy with it and, happy enough to like say, hey, guys, this is it. That was off my plate and I felt great. And then everybody's like, oh, my God, I loved it. And I got so many good messages. One guy was telling me he was like crying. I'm like, a home run. That's what I wanted. I wanted somebody to cry over it. And that was it. That's probably the best thing as far. And I've done a lot of art this year, like tons. But I think finishing the comic was like the high point for me. And then like seeing it printed from like Jason Gross, like seeing the printed version of it was like, oh, this is awesome. So yeah, I will say that because the other answers would be like the time the whole family was hugging in the kitchen and like nobody wants to hear that crap. Nobody wants to hear that.
Did that this year?
Yeah, we did. We were wearing masks, don't worry.
Okay. No, it's there's going to be a lot of different things you can write and say, like as you said, who wants to know about that? Like for me, I've talked about this a couple times.
Like didn't you have a kid this year?
My son was born in early.
Like are you going to say like, oh, I loved reading Mask 86?
I remember when Mask 86.
Hold on, kid.
Yeah. No, Liam was born February 2nd. He's almost a year old now. Okay. So he's as old as this entire COVID,
Yeah, this is all he knows.
And like what it's going to be for me, there's him being born, great moment.
Yeah.
So one of the positives out of COVID-19 was that I've been able to work from home more, almost 97% of the time, which has been nice because I probably not wearing pants right now. Same thing.
You're home.
Same thing in meetings.
I'm just wearing a blue mask sweatshirt.
Yeah. It's you got those things to think about too. But I kind of like. I remember when the channel really kind of like took off in a certain way, and I wanted to say like mask wise, and it's not to put anything else behind anybody, but like talking with Retroblasting with Michael, that was really cool. Like, he's got such knowledge in a lot of different areas, and he's been doing this for a long time, and literally didn't hesitate. He's like, I would love to talk mask. And
that's awesome.
It was such a fun time, and I mean, easily it could have went on. We probably could have talked for like 5 hours or more.
He's one of those toy guys who knows what he's talking about. This you could see some guys are like kind of like they have their niche. He knows. He's got a wide range.
So I would say for me, like that's kind of where I would land. And one more, when the NHL came back. That was, while it's only a sport, sports do amazing things for people that actually follow them. And without them in your life, it feels like something's missing. And during 2020, it's really to have something else just be completely not what you're used to.
Yeah, it took a while to get used to it the way it was presented, but I'm good now.
But we're getting there. Maybe when the vaccines.
Yeah, ET's landing again.
Maybe with the vaccines, maybe we'll actually get to do the Phillies, Mets game this year.
I'm going. I'll be there. No, and I, as a guy who's like steeped in all this geek culture with like movies and toys and like, I mean, I'm sitting 2 feet from Buzz Lightyear. I'm not exactly like the coolest guy on the planet. Like I have a toy collection, and there are those people who like love sports that would be like, oh, look at this guy with a basement full of toys. My back room is all sports stuff. When my father-in-law comes over, he walks into this front room and he's like, what is going on in here? And then he'll cut through to the back room and go, oh, I love it back here. Like I'm in both worlds. So I hear the people in the geek side who are like, oh, do you like sports ball? And you're like, sports ball. And then you have the guys who like, just like sports, who like don't understand why I would want to have Buzz Lightyear in my room. And I balance the fence. I'm on both sides. So I love them both. You're not going to get me to talk trash about sports or toys or any of this. I just like everything except for cars. I don't care about cars at all.
My office at work has most of my sports stuff there. Like any like my game used John LeClaire stick and like all the stuff that I have, like it's at the office. Here it's the toy collection, and I'm thinking it's still there. I don't know. I don't have a live feed in
right now. There's a custodian playing the hockey with a John LeClaire stick in the middle of a hallway.
Yeah, but no, I'm diehard hockey and baseball, and I challenge anybody's knowledge to the other sport. Doesn't matter to me. So
that's funny. No, those are my weaker points compared to football, golf. But yeah, there's such a weird divide between like sports and toys, and like I like both. And there's just weird. It's weird how like sometimes you'll hear people start talking trash about toys or sports or on either side of it. And you're like, can't people just like what they like, man? Like I think that comes with age.
I don't like liverwurst. I mean,
liverwurst. Oh, put that on the wheel next time. I love it.
I'm just saying, like, there's things that I don't like.
Mushy meats. I like mushy meats.
Let's get the wheel going up. I think we got enough time for one more topic.
Yeah, I think one more is looking good.
All right.
I want cartoon theme songs. When is it going to happen for us?
So which agent could flip sides?
I think everybody has the same answer, so I'm going to try to steer from that because I think everybody has the same exact answer on this one. What do
you think is the answer? Like
I think the most popular answer to this question is easily Vanessa. I don't even think it's close. Even in like Trigonis's Mass Noir thing he wrote, that little story about he just released it like I don't know 2-3 weeks ago. It was good. But he had the same thought that I had. Like Vanessa would be the one that kind of, might, cross paths, even though it takes a turn in the book. It's not exactly like I'm saying. But I think Vanessa's the obvious candidate to like change sides. I mean, unless you want to do Boris Bushkin because he did, Well,
all right. So excluding Vanessa and Boris, what else are you thinking?
Can I look back at the toys? Because I'm going to be drawing a blank. Hold on. I'm disappearing to look at the toys. Hold on. Not him. Nope. Can I say Scott?
Scott. Scott, yeah, the one time Matt makes him stay inside one time, and Scott's like, "Screw this."
Screw this. Honestly, when I look at the rest of the agents, I have a hard time. They're pretty much like the epitome of good and bad. You know, could Bruno toe the line and become like sort of a tweener and be like, because he was never like fully on board for Venom. He was kind of like almost like an outside entity that kind of worked with them. I felt like, maybe I read into that differently, but it always felt like Bruno was a little bit of an outsider. Even Floyd a little bit, so maybe they wouldn't have their allegiances, so they could like have this like hesitant relationship with Tracker. But the mask guys, I can't see any mask guy turning bad. Like I can't see Buddy, Dusty, Bruce, Alex. Well, Alex is kind of a jerk, but Alex, yeah, I don't know. Alex with all those pets, I can see him maybe turning.
So obviously, as you said, Vanessa is one because you feel like that she would go to whatever allegiance would be the best at whatever, something along those lines. But I always thought that Buddy could turn because of his contacts in the underworld and his, we don't know a ton of his backstory really.
Yeah, he's like a master of disguise.
Like, let's say Buddy's Buddy's one of the people to keep those mass vehicles going.
Yeah, he might have some connections. I never thought about it like that.
Like if you're thinking about it in terms of like, let's say outside of the cartoon realm, like where they're stuck in their ways. If Mayhem, if they were established two sides and Mayhem goes, here's a country for you that I've conquered. Is he gonna turn this down, or I think that there could be something there. Now he's very loyal in the cartoon, but you look at some of the backstory there, like with it.
Even like Maximus, I know he was introduced late, but like Maximus is, one of those characters that might get jealous of his brother and start flipping the coin and turning sides and trying to like help out Max just out of jealousy, Well,
he'd be flipping his monocle, not the coin.
Yeah, flipping the monocle.
I mean, who doesn't wear a monocle these days?
I know. I need one. I hope I was wanting one for Christmas. Didn't happen.
So, I think Buddy could do it. It's just, I don't know. I don't have an idea like fully how it would happen, but it would be something. It would either be something where, he's looked down upon differently on the mass team. One, because he doesn't have his own vehicle. Maybe he's looked down like kind of the same thing like you just said with Maximus. And Mayhem's like, here, you can pilot.
Yeah, I'll be appreciated more over here.
Yeah, you can. It's a Benedict Arnold situation.
Yep.
You can pilot Wolf Beast.
Yeah. Whoa.
It's like
I get my own car.
Yeah. I don't want this.
Yeah.
It's either this or Stiletto.
We'll get back in Wildcat.
Yeah. So
I think Vanessa's the answer though. Like even in '86, I had her like kind of like toe the line, and she wasn't on Miles Mayhem's like side really. She was like on her own side.
Yeah. No, those are the two. I don't know. Do you think we have time for one more? I think we're right at the 30-minute mark here.
Yeah, I think we can call it a day. I don't think people want to listen to me talk anymore.
No. So some housekeeping here. Redbubble did not come out with any good coupon codes. So the two mug winners, Colt and Lisa, I'll be getting those out to you this week. And the winner of the mask, only two masks. Not two masks. The mask is should I just call him Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger won it.
Freddy Krueger. All right. So Freddy Krueger won it. So when he's haunting your dreams,
at least he'll be in a mask.
Well, he'll be socially, following guidelines at least.
Well, his claws are like, he can kill you at a safe distance.
That's right. He can extend his arms.
Yeah.
But everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for going along with this. On our next Talkin Overtime, it'll be another mask as a winner. And we'll announce the winner of that one based off of this show. Post your comments.
And suggest some wheel topics so you don't have to hear about the Mcrib next time.
What about the Baconator for breakfast from Wendy's?
Oh, the Baconator breakfast. I haven't tried that yet. I'm not that brave.
But if you have wheel topics, suggest them here in the comments. Suggest them to Kerouac in random chats. Through all this stuff on Twitter. Send them to me. Whatever you want to do. So until next time, that's Brian. Hold on.
Hey.
Yes, I did it right. I did it slowly. That's Brian. I'm Bill. This was Talkin Overtime, and we'll talk to you later.